Today I want to talk about my favorite or one of my favorite business books ever, which actually changed my business and by extension my life. It's called E-Myth or Entrepreneurial Myth. And it basically talks about how you can build a business in a way that it's actually a business. And I want to open with a quote from the book that if your business depends on you, you don't own a business, you have a job. And it's the worst job in the world because you're working for a lunatic. And it's so true. I remember the times when I was working as a freelancer and self-employed or whatever it's called. And it was kind of worse than actually having a job because the boss is you and the boss is very demanding, and it's actually hard working like this. And a lot of me and a lot of my entrepreneurial friends find it very true. So what is the answer? The answer is actually build a business in a systematic manner. And in this book, Michael talks about building a business similar way as McDonald's built a business. And so his idea is to build a business as if you're building a franchise. So even if you want to open one location or two locations, or even if you don't have locations, like in my business, for example, build it as if you're building a gigantic business that needs to run on operating procedures. So the idea is that you don't teach people individually, but you do. So when you hire an employee, you don't just teach this person individually, you also create a system that any person of his or her qualifications can do this job. And the idea is to, this is a quote from the book, the model will be operated by people with the lowest possible level of skill. Yes, I said lowest possible level of skill, because if your model depends on highly skilled people, it's going to be impossible to replicate. And it is so true. So initially when I built my business JConnector, the hardest part to delegate was the support team. And the way I initially structured support was it required a support person with marketing qualification, technical qualifications, and good English, good communication skills. And this person was very, very hard to find and very expensive, and therefore basically hiring a person of such qualification would eat a very big percentage of my margin, so it wouldn't make sense. So that's why I had to restructure my business in a way that I was able to hire people who are just good at technical part, just good at marketing part, and therefore were able to support my technical product for marketers. So different people were responsible for different parts. And it may sound easy, but in reality, when you're building a business for yourself, it's very easy to, it's actually the opposite. It's very easy to build it in a way such that basically, if you're building a business for yourself, for your unique skills, but it's not the right way to go. The right way to go is to think every time you do a recurring action, something that doesn't need to be done once, but needs to be done multiple times. Think about who would be the person who will do it, and what is the person with the lowest level of skill who would be able to do it, and how much it would actually cost. And this would allow you to build an actual business and not a job. And finally, I want to read you this quote. So in this book, Michael says that all work in the model will be documented in the operations manual. And again, this is basically the way to do this. So if you are, so when you create an organization, when you find new problems, find new ways to solve problems, often this information only stays in your head and maybe in the head of the person that you're teaching and maybe the people who were involved. And it doesn't stay in any physical or electronic manual or whatever. So the way that Michael suggests to do it, and the way a lot of businesses operate, is that we have an operating procedure that basically documents each action and each procedure that needs to be done. Like, for example, in McDonald's, they have an operating procedure for how they greet you, how they take the order, how they do everything. So it's not just that they teach you, they teach the employees how to do this, but they also have this written down. So it's easy to, so if you have to have hundreds of people doing this job, it's done exactly the same, or as close to be done the same as possible. So again, awesome book, highly recommended, possibly one of the best, definitely one of the best books on business that I've ever read, and I've read a lot. And yeah, so build a business, not a job. You will not regret it.